From that, let's tell you that the Nigerian government is saying that the National Iron and Ore Company, Itakpe, in Kogi State, will soon commence operations after 40 years in limbo. The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Abubakar Audu, says government is also mulling plans to make the Ajaokuta Steel Company an industrial park and a free trade zone, and that's to attract foreign direct investment. TVC's Joke Adisa has details.
Nigeria has long explored a tax expenditure regime with the goal of realizing significant growth in pioneer industries and foreign direct investments. Experts say waivers, concessions and exemptions are ideal arrangements not only as economic tools, but also from the viewpoint of competitive international trade. But in Nigeria, the policy is plagued with many challenges, which see the rich paying less taxes at the expense of the poor. The federal government in 2021 put the tax expenditure at 6.68 trillion naira, approximately 4% of the GDP. This workshop is to complement government's efforts towards improving the understanding and capacity of relevant legislative committees. This is on the sidelines of the recent inauguration of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. The 10th House of Representatives recently launched a probe into an alleged 14 trillion naira revenue loss to tax incentives, waiver abuses by public institutions and companies. The challenge for the parliament is to fast-track reforms that will curb abuses in the system.
What you see, you set up this company, after getting the waiver for 4 years, you now go and change the name and then reapply and get it. And therefore, the country is losing a lot of revenue, a lot of income. This has to be stopped.
The National Assembly has a huge task to accelerate the reform of tax expenditure and the reform of our entire tax system to make it more equitable and more transparent.
The debate over whether or not issues around tax expenditures are not binary. It requires clear understanding and proper contextualization and understanding.
For the National Assembly, the basic responsibility relates to strengthening of oversight among other interventions.
We might have a mandatory review. Make it mandatory for tax incentives to be reviewed and reauthorized by legislators at specific intervals.
Outcome of this two-day engagement among these critical actors is expected to reach the federal government and embedded into its policy on achieving equity and justice in the nation's tax expenditure. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.